Okay, I got a question from Mrs. Perry. I think it's Marsha Perry. I'm not sure. From Alabama. She was asking about how I spend cold nights in snow. Well, I haven't done that yet, but a couple things. I've got a lot of books to read. I also like to write, so I plan to do a lot of writing there. I'm already working on a memoir about this trip, obviously, kind of a journal. Nothing too fancy, but I think it might be interesting for people to kind of go through, what I experienced, and kind of read along at home if you want. Um, I'm going into a lot more personal things and the things that I'm thinking about rather than just the events of the day. I think that's a lot more interesting anyway. My mindset has kind of changed a little bit, and I think that's going to develop. I think that's really what interests me about this trip more than anything is not just the adventure, but kind of the psychological aspects of it. Um, I'm doing a lot of writing on psychology and parapsychology. I've got some ideas about um, a lot of things that seem kind of weird out here in the wild, but it's mostly just in your head, I think. So anyway, I've got some writing on that. I've also been already working on a new screenplay. I did a movie last year, or actually we've been working on it for a couple of years, but we got a whole team. But I wrote and worked as the executive producer on a movie called Coldwood, which is about some ghost hunters in Alaska, and we brought some actors in from L.A. and a crew from New York and San Francisco and L.A. and Hollywood, and they did a fantastic job. Just finished that a while ago and did the world premiere. So I'm already writing the writing the screenplay for the next film. I've already shot a short version of it, a 5-minute version for a film fest, and you can read up on that on the Internet Movie Database if you have any interest. But I'm working hard on that. I really want to, when I come back, I want to go ahead and get the funding for that for a 7-figure budget and make it into a really respectable film. I think it'll be something which will really make you think and probably scare you a little bit. So it's a little disturbing. But anyway, that's one project I'm working on. I also do a lot of short films, and I've already written two scripts. One is a dark. It's a short film about addiction, basically a young man who's dealing with addiction, and it's kind of a sad, dark tale. And then another one is a parody of a television show for 4 females, and that's a comedy. I think people have a lot of fun with that. So anyway, I feel really inspired to keep writing. I'm doing a lot of that, and it's coming along really well. In addition to my book, so probably gonna write a couple books. Is what I'm thinking. Is one would be more of a journal or memoir of what happened, and then one would be more instructional on, hey, if you want to go live on an island for a year, here's what to think about, here's how to do it, here's some of the things that surprised me. So far I haven't had a lot of surprises, but there's certainly a few things that I probably would do differently if I had to do this again, and I probably will. So I don't know, I'm thinking about doing a second and third season. If this is something that people enjoy watching, let me know, and we'll kind of see where we go. I've actually been looking at some other islands, and then there's some really cool places in the north of Alaska, which would be a different take on things. It would be a lot colder, obviously, but that's kind of some interesting aspects there, dealing with the temperature, or even the interior of Alaska. So anyway, there's lots of options, lots of things to think about, and I'll probably spend a lot of time doing that. As far as what I'm reading, I'm kind of reading a lot of the classics I just haven't gotten around to, like Jane Austen and Charles Dickens. I really like Charles Dickens. I've been reading H.G. Wells, and he's really interesting, just fascinating stuff. He seems very modern, even though it was 100 years ago. And Edgar Allan Poe. I really like some of his stuff, but I'm finding that a lot of his stuff is just not great. It's just kind of common. It's stuff you've never heard of, and you probably haven't heard of it for a reason, because it's not fantastic. But that's okay. It's kind of fun to just see what people write and try my hand at it as well. So that's kind of what I'm doing with my time.